Hello, welcome to the Round Lake Area Public Library's video program that will teach you how to make a lace pottery bowl. First, what you will need to get started is clay and a doily. You will want a crocheted doily, not a paper doily. We are using Crayola air dry modeling clay in white. The supplies that you'll need are as follows: a knife, a flat surface to work on, a rolling pin or something flat, smooth, and cylindrical like a wine bottle, a smooth water bottle, or a large vitamin bottle. You're going to need a small bowl of water and towels for your hands. And then you're also going to need a bowl or a curved dish to lend its shape to your clay dish. There are a lot of types and brands of clay available, and I'd like to warn you against the cheap, colored, super light clay you can find that's advertised for crafts. If you see this packaging, it will not work for this purpose. I tried. It's too sticky, it's too airy, and it's more like foam than clay. You can try to create something like I did, and the next day or the day after, you will find that it is still flexible and will not harden completely. It is truly more like foam than anything else. You'll have to stick with modeling clay to get this craft to work. I'm going to recommend watching this video through before starting so you'll know how you want to shape your bowl or dish. Once you see how mine came out in the end, you can decide how you'd like to proceed with your own project. When you're ready, you can take your clay and roll it around to warm it up and make it more pliable in your hands. Once you roll it into a nice sphere, you're going to set it on your flat surface and start flattening it like you would dough. I'm going to use my fancy rolling pin that has pegs to control how thick the clay will end up being when it's rolled out, but you don't need anything fancy. You can use even a big jar of vitamins like this to do your rolling. It doesn't matter as long as it's smooth and round. You're aiming to roll it out to between 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch thick. If you start with a nice sphere and roll it in one direction and then the opposite and then do the diagonals in each direction, you should keep a relative circle as you're rolling. You want a consistent, smooth circle of clay, slightly larger than the doily. There are a few different ways to do this. You can lay the doily on the clay so that it will be the center of the bowl, or you can do it so that the doily is off to the side. You're going to cut your bowl shape after pressing the doily into the clay, so think about how you would like to position it. Lay the doily where you want it to, and then press it gently into the clay with your roller. You want it flush with the surface of the clay. Once it's evenly pressed into the clay, you can either remove it and cut your shape, or cut your shape around the doily and then remove it. I tried different methods, and you can follow along to see how they turned out. Next, you have to decide if you want the lace impression inside the bowl or on the outside. So lift your clay off the surface and place it on your real bowl or dish that will help give it its form. You may need to smooth out the clay with your knife or fingers, so just add a few drops of water and smooth it out. Keep in mind that the lace design will keep the most integrity if you make a shallow bowl. The deeper the bowl, the more distortion you'll see in the design. Once you lay the clay in place, you're going to want to put it in a safe place to let it dry out for a few days. Because I have a cat, that means on top of my fridge. Save the excess clay that you cut off too. It is reusable, so put it into an airtight container or baggie to keep it moist. They say patience is a virtue, yes? I have no patience. 24 hours later, I was picking and pulling them off. I could see and feel that they weren't dry yet, but I kept handling them and sanding down the irregular edges, and I cracked one bowl in 2 places and another fell completely apart. I managed to patch the cracks with the leftover clay, but the broken one will have to be re-wet and then turned into something new later on. That's what's nice about working with clay. All of your pieces are reusable if you don't add anything else to them or paint them. All you have to do is soak the pieces in a bowl of water, and when it gets soggy enough to squish it together, gather it and form a blob and remove it from the water. Then always store it in an airtight container. Depending on the size and the thickness of your clay, you will need to dry it for 3 to 4 days or up to a week. Remember to take it off the bowl after a couple of days so the unexposed surface dries as well, but resist the urge to handle it until it's cured. Once it's hardened, you can clean up any sloppy edges or bumps with some light sanding if you want, or keep the rough rustic look. You can leave the bowl white or paint it with acrylics. I'm creating a watered down paint solution to paint my bowl. It requires a sponge brush, and all you do is apply the watery paint generously and then come back with the sponge brush and soak it up. And this leaves a really nice effect where a concentration of colors falls into the grooves, accentuating the lace design. You can use gloss or matte, and you can finish with a sealant if you like. I have glossy Mod Podge at home, and so that's what I'll finish it with. If you don't have paint, you can use permanent markers. You can use a toothpick to draw or write words on your bowl while it's still wet. You could skip the doily and press real, dried, or artificial flowers or leaves into the clay. There are so many possibilities. You could even sculpt things to add to the bowls, scoring and wetting them before adding. Think 3D flowers or maybe even a ladybug sitting on the edge. The clay we are using came from Amazon and runs about $37 for 25 pounds. To give you an idea, this box had 4 large chunks, and I divided each of the large chunks into 5 smaller chunks. And each of your kits came with one of those 5 smaller chunks. So this box provided 20 kits with plenty of clay for an 8-inch bowl. The lace doilies are available alone or in multi-packs for a couple of dollars or up to 20, and you can dry your own flowers for free. These finished bowls are not food safe, and because they're just clay, they shouldn't be put in the dishwasher or microwave. Wash them gently by hand with minimal water when needed, but bear in mind clay is porous and it breaks down in water, so do so sparingly unless you thoroughly seal it. I wish you all the best of luck on your clay bowls and would love to see your results. Thank you for participating in this lace pottery bowl program, and we hope to see you soon.